costs. You don't really know what the cost of your blood work was, or your MRI, or whatever it is that you've recently done. You typically don't really know what those are. And so it makes for a consumption model that is not very efficient. Providers, your doctors, hospitals, and so forth, they're incented to give as many services as they can and charge as much as possible, because you as the consumer aren't paying it. You don't care. It's going to be the insurance, right? Just pay your copay or your deductible. The other, and it might feel like this sometimes in some of the doctors' offices, maybe something a little bit more like that. The other model, the second model, is what you call a fee-for-service model. Now this is where you hear about things like Medicaid, Medicare, they're under a fee per service, and there's a lot more I could get into there. I just want to mention something though. Kirk Jowers, a member of our executive team, about a year ago was meeting back in New York City, having dinner with some executives, a couple of executives for a very large pharmaceutical company in the United States. And he was asking questions. He asked them one question. He said, so are you guys threatened by a dōTERRA that comes along and becomes really large and starts perhaps providing a modality, a solution, $1 billion, let's say, that takes away from your drug sales? Their response was really interesting to us. They said, no, we could care less about that. However, you mess around in the Medicare, Medicaid space to the tune of $50 million, and we'll take you out. That was their response. It really made me stop and wonder, why do they care so much about this Medicaid, Medicare area? And there's some interesting things in our current system. So, you know, the fee-for-service incentivizes professionals and providers to increase the quantity rather than the quality of services. It also is very dependent upon the amount of care rather than the outcome. We're not focused on outcomes. Well, it doesn't incentivize for certain holistic, alternative, or preventive sorts of medical care. These are just a few of the tips of the iceberg of the problems with the medical system in the United States. It's kind of broken. It's destined to kind of go bankrupt. There's a lot of concerns. There's a lot we hear about it. The question is it fixable? Is it fixable? Well, I don't think our government or our president's going to fix it. Just a guess here as we've watched. There's too many conflicts of interest, the ability to agree on things. I look at this historically in the United States. We've had other big problems like this. And you know what a BHP is? It's a big, hairy problem. Just make that a big, hairy problem. And these are solved historically not by governments, but by the private sector, especially in a place like the United States. And so it's usually solved by businesses and by individuals that come along and solve this. And we intend to be a part of this. We intend to influence this. We've been preparing for this. Thank you. We've been preparing for this for years in a lot of ways. So I want to just take a minute and play a little what if, all right? What if we could introduce elements of the free market into our existing healthcare system? It's not in there today, is it? Not at all. What if we could include holistic, integrative, preventative sorts of things with allopathic medicine? Or what if medical costs were transparent? They really aren't in our system today, are they? And we incentivize, again, more of a competitive sort of a standard here. What if we could eliminate the middlemen, the insurance piece of this, and save on the huge market? This was a shocker to me. As we've gotten into this for last year and really studied this and spent time, I had no idea the markup that's happening in there. It's a lot of the problem that we face today. So, what if our medical care approach also had essential oils as a potential modality? And that will only happen as we're able to capture real, statistically valid data. Now, we've been working on this for a while, but not necessarily in the hands-on patient care area Lori Lindley this afternoon, and he's going to tell you more about how we're going to do this. And what we're going to do in a way of gathering data is going to rock the world. It's going to have impact as this is starting to be shared in medical conferences and symposiums. So, what if doctors could actually be doctors again and determine the standard of care? When you talk to doctors, they aren't allowed to determine the standard of care lots of times. They have to actually follow the guidelines given by insurance companies and say, no, this is what we're going to reimburse. You go outside of this, you're on your own. Well, bureaucrats aren't trained to be determining standard of care. How about doctors devoting more of their time to the patients? If you have doctors that understand what I'm talking about that deal with insurance, either they or they have to hire a lot of employees to do the massive amount of work and coding and reporting of things. When you go see a doctor, you're seeing them for this much time. Really, they allocate this much time for each person. Either you have to have a lot of employees or they're working late hours to do that. Now, what if you could significantly lower your healthcare costs, include more preventative medicine, all while making medical care more accessible? We're a society today that is used to instant gratification, aren't we? I want to order on Amazon and have it like tomorrow or the next day, whatever it is, right? And that's the world we live in. It's a very changing world. It would be really amazing if medical care and health care could do more of that. Again, like I said, we're going to talk more about this. How about if there was a way for consumers to just have easier, quicker access to doctors? Now, I'm one of these guys that only sees a doctor on occasion. Last year, it was kidney stones I got while I was in Romania. That was a lot of fun. And I discovered the strengths and weaknesses of their medical system in a big hurry. And, or else it's dehydration from Africa. I come back to end up in an emergency. I go to emergency, right? Because it's always after hours. It's always on the weekend, right? And $2,000. I have insurance. I have good insurance. But I paid $2,000 out of pocket for them to pump a couple liters of fluid in me, and I was all good, right? This is just one of the things that happened. But how about this last thing here? My kids don't know what a family doctor is. I remember a family doctor as a kid, but it's a thing that's kind of become lost to a degree in our system today. Well, get ready, because we have been preparing to make some major inroads into this area for some time. You're going to hear more about in this conference some really pretty amazing, astounding things. But I just want to whet your appetite just a little bit here this morning. Now, these two gentlemen were the first ever to successfully ascend Mount Everest. And, they did this back in 1953, and it was thought to be almost impossible, and many people died attempting this, but they were the first to actually do it. Well, today, many people do this. Many people ascend Mount Everest. In fact, there's 1,000 attempts that are made every year, of which 500 are successful. 500 people do this every year. And that's because somebody made the initial trail through this thing. Somebody set the standard. Something was impossible. It started to change. Somebody's got to make that initial trail. Once you do, others start to follow. And they realize, wow, this is really possible. And this is what we intend to do until many follow. And this becomes a well-worn path that becomes a reality for many people. I'm talking about healthcare. Okay? That's what it does. A little graphic stuff. So anyway, this is what we intend to do in the coming years with some of this healthcare. It's going to be an amazing thing. dōTERRA is going to be a part of this. You're going to be a part of this. The essential oils are going to be a part of this. And we mean to bring what we're going to create here in Pleasant Grove, Utah, out to many of you. Now, I love these pictures out of the salt and pepper shakers, we call them out there. This is you. This is you guys, okay? These are actual dōTERRA wellness advocates. And you're the ones, you're the reason why dōTERRA has been able to do what it's done today. The amount of good that's being done all over the world to me now is fantastic. And you are making this happen. Many of you are brand new here today. I heard a pretty loud yell go up. It sounded like about half of you are new to dōTERRA, you're going to learn some things as you go down your own paths. You're going to learn that your circle of influence, which might be like this right now, is going to grow larger and larger and larger and go from being maybe a few dozen to being hundreds and finally thousands of people. dōTERRA is a company that heals people, right? We heal people physically. We heal people emotionally. We heal some people financially. Some people we even heal on a spiritual basis. We wanted to build a company that would be safe. Safe for anyone and everyone to come to. A company where you can come and be a part of it and the many, many missions that dōTERRA has, and not be fearful that it might change, or that it might become something different, or it might fail, or something like that. I can assure you, we as the founders of dōTERRA, we talk about this a lot. We don't want it to ever change us. We don't want it to ever change us. We hope as you become successful in life and whatever it is you do, that it won't change you either. You'll be able to maintain your roots. Love this quote found years ago. Use it on occasion from Margaret Mead. Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have. It always starts with one person, doesn't it? That's dōTERRA and its mission. We started with just a handful of people. That first meeting, 13 people were there, and 6 of them were our spouses. And so that's how you start, right? We just started sharing with friends and neighbors, and then it just kept going. Lots of reasons for that. One is the essential oils are very effective in what they do. But 2, many people began to find that this is a company that they could be a part of, and it fulfills a lot of their needs and a lot of what they're trying to do. So as you embark on this journey, we got 3 days, and let me tell you, we have this wired down to the minute, every minute.